Bruscia la luna in cielo, io bruscio d'amore. Fuoco che si consuma come lume e cori. L'anima chiange, addolorata, non si dà pace, ma che mala nottate. Brucia la luna in cielo, io bruscio d'amore. Fuoco che si consuma come lume e cori. L'anima chiange, addolorato.
Alright, sorry for the sad music, but I like this song. I love this song. Greetings to all of you. Hassan al-Badr with you, atheist, anti-atheist. And we're going to refute another episode of Miss Claire Forestier, of her program that there is no clash between the Quran and science. And again, in this episode, we're going to see multiple lies on many levels. So, let's take a listen.
Hi. Do you remember in school when we learned about the water cycle, how water evaporates then falls again as rain? But there was always a lingering question in my mind. How did water first form on our planet in the first place?
No, actually, you said that the water evaporates and because of gravity falls down again as rain. This actually a clear debunking and refuting to Noah's Ark. It is, actually, it is. If really Earth was really covered with water, it was covered. The whole planet Earth was covered with water. Where did that water go? Where did it go? The water must be here somewhere. Where did it go? Because obviously we are kind of dry. So that actually is a clear debunking, because even if that water evaporated, it will still, because of a gravitational field and the gravitational strength of planet Earth, it will still fall down again as rain. So where did that water go from Noah's Ark? That Earth was flooded. The highest mountain was flooded with water. Where did that water go? That's a clear debunking for Noah's Ark, by the way, what you just mentioned.
As the years have passed, physicists have been able to answer this question. One in particular, Carl Sagan, asserted that water first arrived on our planet when stars first appeared. Stars aren't simply shiny things that twinkle in the night. Inside stars, a series of nuclear burning stages transform the star into an onion-like shell structure that produces heavier and heavier elements in its various stages. Elements like silicon, neon, calcium, copper, chromium, carbon, oxygen, the list goes on, and this causes the star to expand more and more. The last element to be produced by the star, the one that sits in the very core of the star, is iron, which makes the star resist any further compression and lose its ability to expand. The star then becomes a bloated ball of gas with a dense iron core, slightly similar to the size of planet Earth, resting at the very centre. No more energy can be produced by the iron core because iron doesn't burn. This causes the star's store of energy to become depleted, and it is this process that spells the end for the star. The end of a supermassive star results in an explosion, a supernova. After the star explodes in a supernova, it leaves behind its core as a remnant. The core of this remnant is more rigid than steel. This remnant is the densest star known to exist in the universe. It's called a neutron star or a pulsar. This pulsar is characterized by unique characteristics. First, it's very dense. How dense? Let's put it this way. A teaspoon of matter from a neutron star or pulsar weighs as much as Mount Everest. Secondly, it punches holes in stellar disks. In NASA's Chandra X observatory, scientists have observed a pulsar punching a hole in a disk of gas or stellar disk around its companion star. They published this information along with an image of the pulsar on their website on July the 23rd, 2015. In the form of stardust, supernovas scatter the elements that surround the core of the star and that are made through nuclear fusion by the star out into the cosmos. And these are the same elements that make up other stars, planets, and everything on Earth, including our bodies.
Just a small correction. Punch is a hole. That's just a metaphor. That's not the literal meaning what the star does. It actually has very high gravitational field, so it makes as of it punches holes, but it doesn't really punch itself. The star doesn't punch itself, okay? The star doesn't throw punches, you know? Alright? The star just has high gravitational field. So whatever there is around it, if there is the gas disk, you know, there's a gas. Because of the star high gravitational field, the star will be here and it creates a hole in the gas disk. That's all. And we like who study physics, we try to simplify the matter to the dumb idiot minds like you, Miss Claire Forestier. We say it punches hole. That doesn't mean that the star itself punches holes, okay? That doesn't mean the star itself throws punches, you know, in the gas disk and makes a hole. Or it hammers, okay, and it makes a hole, really. It's just a way of explaining. Just like the Einstein explains to the simple-minded people. He explains to them like relativity is like you have a party and at the party you don't feel the time, even if it's 20 hours has passed, you don't feel time. While you sit on a hot plate for 20 minutes, you feel like it's 20 years. That doesn't mean that relativity speaks about that. No. But he's just trying to simplify the idea, the physics idea, to the people who don't study physics. The same thing when NASA, on all those studies that you mentioned, when they say punches holes, that's also about metaphorical idea to simplify it to the people who don't study physics. That doesn't mean literal meaning. It punches holes.
Her research work published in 2014 in the Astrophysical Journal, Goranka Bil-Albegovic and her research team described exploding stars as cosmic cement mixers in order to explain the presence of building material in space. They recorded that when the very massive stars die, they explode and litter space with a variety of elements. All the ingredients of cement have been found in such stellar remnants, meaning that stardust is not just dust, it is cement-like dust, which solidifies after being mixed with water.
No, that's total BS. That's total bullshit. I don't know what you're reading. Cement-like? It's gases. It's gas. Gas, literally. When the star explodes, of course there are tiny particles. By the way, when I say particle, it's like 2 atoms. 2 atoms! You know what 2 atoms mean? How small it is? If you make a dot, take a pen, and make a dot on a paper. With a regular pen, regular ballpoint pen, okay? Make a dot on a paper. Do you know that dot, how many atoms in it? More than 50,000 atoms. More than 50,000 atoms of ink is in that dot. And now, let's take a look and let's think about a particle, okay? Which is 2 atoms, or maximum 8 atoms, okay? How small is that? Is that also like cement? It's not even looking like a dust, by the way. Not even look like dust. Like when you open your room and the sun rays comes down and you see the dust flying. It's not even like dust. It's literally almost nothing. It's like gas, literally. It's a gaseous state. And you say cement-like? Cement? Really? Maybe it's gyps. It's not cement. Maybe it's flour. No? Okay.
The oxygen synthesized in stars via nuclear reactions is dispersed with the stardust through the cosmos and combines for the first time with hydrogen to form water, H2O. And here lies the answer to the question I posed at the beginning. Where does water really come from? Water was formed and emerged for the first time from between the cement-like dust and the remnant star core, which is more rigid than steel, the pulsar.
Interesting. You said that water is first ever formed in the universe by the remnants of an exploded star. Interesting. Interesting. That means God is in our universe. Again, you expose the Quran actually more than you help in it. Because according to Quran, God's throne is on water. He created heavens and earth, and his throne is on water. It's mentioned in the Quran with a clear-cut verse, literally, that his throne is on water. So, that means God is in our universe somehow. And that means God waited for the stars to explode. Then he had the water to put his throne on it. And such stars to explode, it takes at least no less than 300 million years after the Big Bang. So God, he didn't sit anywhere for 300 million years. He just waited. He just waited for stars to form, for stars to explode, to make the oxygen unite with the hydrogen, to make water. And then he said, ta-da, okay, I have water. And then he used this water to put his throne on it. وَعَرْشِهِ كَانَ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. This is mentioned clear in the Quran. So that means God's throne, literally, where God sits, where God resides, is in our universe somehow. It's not outside our universe. Because his throne rests on water. Thank you. Thank you for explaining this to us, really. Because Muslims always claim that their God is beyond space-time fabric. He is outside the universe. There is no time and space where he is. Or obviously there is. Obviously there is time and space and water. And he sits on his throne, which lies on water. Yeah, obviously he's in our universe. Do you realize, Miss Claire, that you're exposing Quran the more than you're helping it, actually? You're literally exposing more flaws in the Quran, more than you actually think you're helping.
The dust grains that float through the solar system contain tiny pockets of water, and water has been found trapped inside real stardust. Scientists believe that this stardust rained down continuously on young planet Earth and brought with it the organic material needed for the eventual origins of life. The discovery of water in stardust suggests that the continuous stardust falls have acted as a continuous rainfall, which brought water to our molten planet. In the Quranic chapter called Al-Tariq, or the Pulsar, God swears by the star which punches holes that we are made from the showers of water, the water which emerged from between kinds of cement like dust and steel. The Holy Quran says, by the heaven and by the pulsar, and have you understood what the pulsar is? It is the star which punches holes.
What? Now this is really some new translation of these verses, because I read those verses in Arabic. I mean, unfortunately for you, you're speaking with an atheist who we can understand Arabic and we can read and write Arabic, okay? So we can expose your lies easily, even if you translate it to English or any other language. So listen, guys, to the new translation for this verse. It's very funny, very funny. By the heaven and by the pulsar already pulsar. Al-Tariq. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. Al-Tariq became pulsar right away. And have you understood what the pulsar is? It is the star which punches holes. Which punches holes. The star which punches holes. And in the Quran, it means literally النجم الثاقب. Okay, it's mentioned exactly like this. Not punching holes. ثاقب. ثاقب in Arabic, by the way, it means literally the radiating light. Okay, the luminous. Okay, it means literally the luminous star. Not the punching holes star. Okay, this is really some new translation. We have 2018 translation, obviously. It's the latest update of the Quran. And you say pulsar. Pulsar is not even mentioned in the Quran. Al-Tariq doesn't mean pulsar, actually. Even people during Muhammad time, and even there is a hadith of Muhammad also. It means not pulsar, okay? It means the appearing star, the appearing planet, star. And actually in the verses they also explain it that it means Saturn. They used to call Saturn the pulsar, obviously. So planet Saturn is the pulsar star which punches holes. Wow. Wow. Physics, man, physics. High standard physics. Really. We should get the Quran to study it in MIT, Stanford, really, Caltech, really, Princeton. We need such book, really. We need such book, obviously. So this is really some new translation, actually. It's the first time I read it. by the heaven and by the pulsar. And have you understood what the pulsar is? It is the star which punches holes. Wow. I'm speechless. I'm flabbergasted, really. I mean, come on, really, what? Okay. Continue, please.
There is not a soul that does not have a guardian over it, so man must consider from what he has been created, and is created from the water ejected, that is emerging from between the steel and cement-like dust. God has all power to resurrect him. It's beyond incredible that a book from 1400 years ago would mention such topics. So when the famous physicist Carl Sagan said, "We are all made of star stuff," he wasn't speaking poetically or figuratively, he meant it literally. But before Carl Sagan and his great-great-grandfathers were even born, the Quran had already told us that showers brought the elements that make up everything on earth, including our bodies, when it says, "Have you not seen that God has sent water down from the heaven to make fruits of various colours, mountains of various colours like white, red and intense black mountains, and also to make the various colours of people, moving creatures and grazing livestock?" In 2004, NASA sent a spacecraft called Stardust on a mission to collect cosmic dust samples from a comet to be brought back to Earth for analysis. Andrew Westphal, a planetary scientist and the study lead of this mission, said, "By analysing interstellar dust, we can understand our own origins." Mr. Westphal was right. The analysis of the cosmic dust collected yielded some informative and sometimes puzzling results about the physical characteristics of stardust, other than the fact that it is similar to cement. They found that it is sticky, covered in organic matter, as stated by Dr. William Revel, the Emeritus Professor of Biochemistry at University College Cork in Ireland. It is soft, amorphous, not crystalline silicates, as stated by Dr. Franziska Kemper in 2004 in the Astrophysics Journal. And it is dark, tar-like, as stated by Drs. Franz R. Kruger and Jochen Kissel at the Max Planck Institute in Munich, Germany. It was also described as similar to cement by Goranka Bilabegovic in the Astrophysical Journal in 2014. But you know where else we can look to learn a great deal about our origins? The Quran. Not only does the Quran state that humans were originally created from dust, but it also states the physical characteristics of this dust in the following verses, and they are strikingly similar to what the scientists described later. Other than its similarity to cement, the Quran describes the dust that we are created from as sticky, soft, and dark, or tar-like. Chapter 30, verse 20. "And of his signs is that he created you from dust." Chapter 37, verse 11. "Indeed, we created men from sticky clay." And chapter 15, verses 26. "And indeed, we created man from potter's clay of altered black, smooth mud."
Well, first of all, creation from mud. The Quran is not revolutionary. He came the first with it. Even the Babylonians and Sumerian gods created from mud. So I wonder who's stealing from whom here. I guess the Sumerians, 3000 to up to 4000 BC, they are the accurate gods. And Allah, obviously, and Judaism and Christianity, obviously stealing from other civilizations. Okay, so creating from mud, that's debunked, by the way. It's debunked. But since you claim that it means stardust, let's see what Prophet Muhammad said himself in a hadith. So I'm going to read it in Arabic. I'm going to try to translate it in English on spot. إن الله خلق آدم من قبضها من جميع الأرض. So that God created Adam from a fist. Okay? A fist. He took it from earth. He took it not from stars, dear Claire Forestier. No, he took it from earth. So he created earth first. And then from earth, he took a fistful of sand, of dust, and he created Adam. Okay? And he created the human, Adam, from earth dust, earth, sand, dust, etc. فجاء بنو آدم على قدر الأرض. So Adam and his offspring came to the earth. From them, جاء منهم الأحمر والأسود والأبيض. From them came the red ones and the black ones and the white ones, like the ethnicities, you know, the creeds, the races, etc. وبين ذلك والخبيث والطيب. And amongst them there is the good-hearted ones and the mean ones, the evil ones. وبين ذلك. And amongst them. So does that mean Muhammad told a lie? I hope you have the guts and to dare to say that to any Muslim scholar. Say, Muhammad lied actually. Muhammad lied when he said that Allah took a fistful of sand from earth to create Adam with it. And let's see if they're gonna welcome your idea. Especially go to the Azhar in Egypt or go to the Saudi Arabia in Mecca. Go to Mecca and mention that, Miss Claire Forestier. And let's see if you're gonna exit the country freely. Let's see about that. Or go to Iran, or go to Lebanon, the Hezbollah, or go to Iran, the Ayatollah, and go to Iraq and mention this. Tell them that this hadith from Muhammad is false. It's a lie. And let's see if you're gonna exit freely. Let's see if they're gonna be open-minded and accept your point of views that we are created from stardust, as you lie clearly and openly that the Quran mentions, which the Quran means literally sand and dust from earth. From earth. Okay? Earth was already created. Even in the Torah. Go read the first page of Genesis. Allah created the heavens and earth. Second day, one day passed, and then the second day he created the rivers, the vegetation, the fruit, trees bearing fruits, etc., etc. On the third day he created blah, blah, blah. And on the fourth day he created the sun and the moon. So 3 days passed, 3 nights, 3 mornings without sun. I don't know how you can figure that out. But anyway. And then he created Adam. So again, they took it from Torah, which also been taken from the Babylonians and Sumerians. Really, 3 minimum to 4000 BC. So before Judaism. Before the Jews. Okay? And when Nebuchadnezzar took the Jews as hostages, he abducted them as war prisoners. He took them to Babylon. The Jews read the Babylonian creation. And it was at that time also that was the first writing down of the Torah. So of course you're going to see some picking up here and there from the Babylonian and the Sumerian creation. So nothing new, nothing miraculous after all. And by the way, this hadith, Abu Dawood and Tirmizi, they told it, and it is Hasanun Sahih, which means really good and correct. So you cannot deny this hadith, by the way, for Prophet Muhammad. By any means, you cannot deny it. If you deny this hadith, that means you're going to deny really the majority of hadiths that are Sahih, that are correct. Then in that sense, you can literally throw the whole books of hadith, whether it's Bukhari or it's Muslim. You can throw it away because it makes no sense then anymore. You cannot cherry pick. That's a cherry picking fallacy. Okay? Logical fallacy. So that's all, folks. After this video, I'm going to search for Arabic video. I don't know which video, but I'm going to search for it. And then we'll refute and debunk some more. As usual, cheers, love and respect, and kisses to you.